So you've probably heard a million different stories about how cheap it is to live in Thailand, right? But what does it actually cost? Today, we're going to cut right through all that noise. We're breaking down the real numbers from a real family who actually lives there day in and day out.
All right, let's just dive right in. You see this number all over the internet, right? 20,000 baht a month. It's kind of thrown around as the absolute rock bottom minimum, but can you really do it? And more importantly, what does that kind of life actually look like? Let's find out.
Okay, then you've got the next level up. This one's the biggie, 50,000 baht. You hear this all the time. It's kind of held up as the magic number, right? The sweet spot for a comfortable, middle-class life for a family. So we're gonna put that idea to the test.
And of course, what about the flip side? 100,000 baht a month. I mean, what kind of lifestyle does that get you? Is that just, a tourist budget where you're blowing through cash? Or can you actually live a life of, genuine, full-time luxury on that? We're gonna see what that money really buys.
Look, the only way to answer these questions for real is to look at, real data. So we're done with all the guesswork and the online forums. We're diving deep into a totally transparent, line-by-line budget from an actual family of 3 to get to the bottom of this. Okay, so to make sense of all this, it really helps to think about it in 3 different levels or tiers of living. First, you've got just survival mode. Then there's comfortable. And finally, what a high-end lifestyle looks like when you're actually living there.
And this chart really puts it into perspective, doesn't it? What's so important to get is that these aren't just small steps up from each other. No. These numbers represent 3 completely different ways to experience life in Thailand. It's like 3 different worlds.
So, let's break down that survival budget. What does 20,000 baht actually get you? Well, you're looking at a small apartment, probably just with a fan, no AC. Your food is going to be almost entirely local street food, which is delicious, by the way, and you're getting around on a motorbike. Now, you can absolutely do it, but it's a very, very simple life. It's a local experience for sure, but there's no room for savings, no safety net for emergencies. It's tight. But this middle tier, this is where things really start to open up. Now you're talking about a modern house or a nice condo. You can afford the convenience of a car. You can have a mix of Thai food and some of those Western foods you might miss. And here's the big one. You can actually save some money. This is pretty much where our case study family fits in. Okay, time to get to the good stuff, the heart of it all. We're throwing estimates out the window. This is the real deal, the actual, transparent budget from our family of 3. We're gonna see exactly where every single baht goes.
And here we go, the full breakdown. You can see their rent for a whole 3-bedroom house is about 10,000 baht. Their food, since they cook a lot at home, comes in around 12,000. But, and this is true for any family moving abroad, look at the big ones, insurance and, private school fees. Those are absolute game changers in any budget.
So, what's the grand total? When you add everything up, their average monthly spending comes to 50,800 baht. See, it lands them right smack in the middle of that comfortable living category we were just talking about. It's not a theory, it's real. And I think this quote is just so important for context. They say, "We are not high-income earners, we are not influencers making millions." This just hammers home the point that this lifestyle is actually achievable for regular people. You don't need some huge online income. It's about being smart with your money and living within your means.
But hold on, that number, 50,800,
That's not the whole story, not even close. To really get it, you have to understand the hidden things, the variables that can make your own budget swing way up or way down.
And here is a perfect example, probably one of the biggest factors: where you shop. If you go to a local fresh market, a Talat, for your vegetables, fruit, and meat, it's going to be way, way cheaper. But the second you start going to the big supermarkets for imported Western stuff, man, your grocery bill will go through the roof. That craving for imported cheese, that'll kill your budget faster than anything. Next up, location. It is absolutely everything. Remember, this family lives in a more provincial area, Surat Thani. If you tried to live this exact same lifestyle but in a huge tourist hub like Phuket or in Bangkok or Pattaya, forget about it. Your costs, especially rent, would be way higher. And living on an island? Oh yeah, that comes with a price premium on just about everything. This is another huge point we have to make. You have to separate a living budget from a holiday budget. They are two totally different things. Someone on vacation can easily blow through 100,000 baht in a couple of weeks on hotels, fancy dinners and tours and think, wow, Thailand is expensive. But that's not real life. When you live here, you've got long-term rent, you're cooking at home, it's a completely different world.
And just to be perfectly clear, let's talk about what this 50,000 baht budget doesn't include, okay? There's no money in here for hitting the bars every weekend. There's no budget for expensive imported wine or beer. This is not a party lifestyle. If that's what you're looking for, hey, no judgment, but your monthly costs are gonna climb, and they're gonna climb fast.
All right, so we've looked at the different tiers, we've gone through a real-world budget, we've talked about all the hidden costs. So what's the big takeaway here? What's the one thing you really need to remember?
It really all comes down to this. The difference is in Thailand, it's lifestyle. That's it. That's the whole ballgame. Thailand can be as cheap or as expensive as you want it to be. The country doesn't set the price tag. Your choices, the ones you make every single day, they're the things that determine your budget.
So really, the question we should be asking isn't how much does it cost to live in Thailand? The real question is, how do you want to live? It's all about figuring out what's important to you and building a life that fits your budget and, well, your idea of happiness. And that's a question that only you can answer.